All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So we have a new report here coming out from Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano of ESPN, highlighting the Haason Reddick situation. Using the term update sounds a little weird because there's actually no update with Reddick and the team as far as, the two parties coming to some sort of solution. And from the sound of it, anything could change, right? I hope I am wrong on this, but it doesn't sound like there's going to be a solution in time before the 49ers game. It doesn't sound like Reddick is going to impact the Jets on week 1. Again, who knows what's going to happen over these next, 48 hours. I mean, today's Thursday, so next couple days here. But man, I mean, to go this far into it, and we're constantly getting these like updated dates from reporters like, oh, keep an eye on this date. Oh, he doesn't show up. Keep an eye on this date. It's, coming up in a week. Doesn't show up. Oh, keep an eye on this one. Doesn't show up. It's nothing. There's just nothing there. And looking at the latest report here from both of these guys, it doesn't sound like there's any sort of progress here. So Jeremy Fowler reported that in talking to people on both sides of the situation, that quote unquote no one knows what Reddick is going to do as he continues to wait for a new contract. Reddick has shown no inclination to do anything with the Jets until they either extend his contract or make an adjustment to his current deal that will pay him more money. Now, quick little side note, we did get the report from Connor Hughes, I want to say about a month ago, suggesting that before the Jets actually traded for Reddick, they offered Reddick a new deal with a pay raise, and one would assume, the pay raise was actually, relevant. It's not like Joe Douglas is saying, okay, Reddick, you're getting $14.25 million this season with no guarantee. We're going to trade for you and give you $15 million, no guaranteed, or $16 million. Like, you got to imagine, again, if you're trying to acquire a player of this caliber, you're going to at least, again, in the case of Connor Hughes' report here, if Douglas did go out and offer Reddick a pay raise, it would be pretty substantial. Reddick declined the pay raise, and then the Jets still traded for him anyway. So unless Reddick wants something crazy like $30 million, $35 million a season, which, at that point, it's just like, that's just way too much. It makes you ask the question, what's the sweet spot? What is the number that Reddick is looking for without it being too crazy? Because again, before you make the trade from the Jets perspective, you have to have an idea, especially if you put out a pay raise / extension offer or a revisited 1-year deal here for the season. You got to have an idea on what Reddick and his agent are looking for. Unless Reddick doesn't want anything to do with the Jets, don't trade me there. I don't want to play for him. The agent, right? Reddick's agent should be vocal in what Reddick wants. What that sweet spot, what that exact number is. Is it 26 million? Is it 27 million? Is it 23 million? Like, is it that I just want to be a top 5 paid edge rusher in football? Is it, a lot of guarantees in year 1? Is it a long-term deal? Like, what is that pivoting point? So again, from the Jets perspective, like they should have the information that they need. The detail, the core element of what Reddick wants in his new deal. But moving on, in the same article as Fowler's report, ESPN's Dan Graziano noted the Jets coaching staff, quote unquote, has basically had no communication with Reddick since he was officially introduced by the team in April. So no contact, right? And we're at this weird standoff where the Jets have the stance of, okay, well, we're only going to negotiate you if you're in our building. And Reddick's stance is, I'm only coming if I get a new deal, if I get a reworked 1-year deal, if I get an extension, whatever Reddick is looking for. So again, weird trade, weird situation. Even if Reddick shows up tomorrow, right? Even if he shows up for Saturday, it's not like he's going to be in full game shape. He hasn't had a single practice with the team, doesn't know the tendencies of the defensive line, right? The continuity there. And granted, he's a veteran edge rusher, so you can just kind of put him out wide and let him do his thing. But still, I mean, there's something to be said for NFL game shape. Has not played in the system, has not been coached by Robert Saleh or Jeff Ulbrich. It's going to be in onboarding period if Reddick shows up, for, I want to say at least a couple weeks before he really starts getting to get in rhythm, to look like how he has over the past 4 seasons where he's been flat out fantastic. So we'll see how it plays out. It's just an unfortunate situation, right? I mean, this is not what I was expecting when the Jets traded for Reddick, right? I thought that he would be, we'd have a top end pass rusher. Everything would be great. He'd be under contract on a new either rework deal or that extension. Reddick would be happy and, really excited to, help the Jets, propel them into making a deep playoff push. But, and again, who knows? Maybe Reddick shows up tomorrow and this whole thing is squashed and then we can move forward. But until that happens, it's just a big waiting game. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.